Hey guys, it's Jess, and as promised, I am going to do my Q&A today. I'm going to try to get it done in one part, but it may be two parts. We'll see. I saw some duplicate questions. I went ahead and took those out, and I may chicken out on some of the favorites just because favorites are just so hard to choose, but we'll see. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. So the first questions are from Black Swan 797, and the first question is, I've read Sarah's Key and it's wonderful. Will you check it out? Yeah, absolutely. It's actually been on my Amazon wish list for a little while now. So yeah, I hope to get to it someday. And then their next question is, do you ever feel weird just talking to the camera? I used to really feel weird. I'm sort of used to it by now, but yeah, when I first started, I was super nervous and I actually had to re record a lot because I just looked petrified. So, but yeah, I'm getting used to it. It's not so bad anymore. The next questions are from I Blush, and the first question is, what is your favorite book of all time? I can't. I can't do it. I really wish I could, but favorite book of all time. I mean, that's just so hard. There are so many different types of books I like for different reasons, so trying to find one that encompasses everything for me, it's impossible. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Their next question is favorite book series. That one's hard too, but I might be able to answer it. Right now, I would say my favorite book series are The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins and the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. Subject to change, of course, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and say those are my favorite series. Next question is, what is your favorite author? Again, it's just too hard. It's too hard. There are there really isn't one author that I can say I've consistently adored everything they've ever written. So I guess until I find that person, I can't really say I have a favorite, you know? The next question is, what is the best romance novel, not cheesy in parentheses, that you've ever read, or the best author? If we're talking about a real romance novel, they're all a little cheesy, you know. It's hard to get away from that, but some of them are less cheesy than others. One of the first ones that I ever really liked was Frankly, My Dear by Sandra Hill. And it's a time swap romance, which means that one of the characters goes back in time. And this one is sort of a play on Gone with the Wind, kind of, not really. But the dialogue's actually pretty clever. And it's not super mushy or gushy, and I don't know. I liked it, and I like a lot of her books for the most part. And Virginia Henley is pretty good too as an author. I like her. The next set of questions is by Cookie TBC2, and their first question is, do you have any hobbies? And yeah, I do. My biggest hobby is theater. I act and sing and dance a little. I'm an actor who moves. And I also love photography a lot. The next question is, what do you do for a living? And I work in the undergraduate admissions office at a local university. And then, what's your favorite food? It's hard. I like a lot. I guess my absolute favorite food would be my grandmother made this amazing sort of Greek lasagna thing. It's called pasticcio, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I can't make it, but I have an aunt who still can, and so whenever I can, I try to convince her to make some and let me take it home. Then their last question is, do you have any guilty pleasures? I have a lot of those too. I guess my biggest one is I love bad reality television. For example, I watch all of the Real Housewives shows, which are, they're really kind of trash, but I can't stop watching. And then Deborah's Book Cafe asked, if you had to go and live on a desert island for a few years, what three books would you take with you? And I'm glad you said for just a few years, because otherwise it would have put me into some sort of panic, because I can't imagine what books I could read forever. Um, but I just sort of picked at random books that I really love. I'm kind of cheating. Can I take the whole Hunger Games trilogy? Please? Please, can I just take the whole thing? And count that as one, please, please. Um, then the next book I would take would probably be The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. I really love this, and it's pretty thick, and it would take a while to read again. But the action is really, really well paced, so I like that one a lot. And then for fun, because you gotta have a fun one, I would pick Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. I could read this book a few more times. It's really fun. The next questions are by Dominich19. I hope that's right. The first question is, have you ever bought a book just because of its cover? Yeah, I've read a fair amount of books just because of their cover. But one of them that in particular, just to give you an example, I picked up The Dress Lodger by Sherry Holman just because of the cover. I just thought it was really cool that the dress is like the only color in it. And it just, it looked like a historical fiction book, which I like anyway. So, yeah, I picked this one because of its cover. And it was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. Next question is, what would you say is your favorite book out of the classics? Which is really hard, but I think I'm going to go with Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I just love this story. I love the relationship between the two sisters, and it's got a really great happy ending, so I love it. Next question is, what books are you dying to add to your collection that you don't already have? So many, but the ones that I've been sort of pining for lately have been The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. Everyone's talking about how amazing it is that got it at BEA, so I really want to see what that's about. And then Blood Red Road by Maura Young, I've also heard really amazing things about, so those are the two right now. The next questions come from Bosai Books. I hope that's right. Sorry. But their first question is, what's the first book that you've ever read, if you can remember? I can remember. The first book that I ever read by myself was The Runaway Bunny by Margaret Wise Brown. And I think I was kind of cheating with this because my mom read this to me so often that I think I was reading it more for memorization than anything else. But still, this is an excellent book, by the way. The next question is, what are the best and worst books that you've ever read? And like I said, with the best, I can't do it. But the one of the worst books that I ever read was Return to the Secret Garden by Susan Moody. Actually, I had to drag this out of a box. I put this in my to be given away box because I don't want it anymore. This is a sequel to The Secret Garden, which is a book that I love, and it's really funny. It actually says it's a moving, heartwarming story that adults will want to reread again and again, and there's nothing heartwarming about this story. She has really taken these characters and just I'm all for dark and edgy, but I mean, they become awful people. They become awful people that do sort of awful things, and at the end of the story, everything's just bad, and or people are dead, and it's just, no. Secret Garden is sacred. Don't mess with that. And then Laura Elwing asked, "What are some of your favorite adult books that you would recommend?" Okay, I just picked a smattering of them, but The Sugar Queen by Sarah Addison Allen is awesome. If you like magical realism, I love this author so much, and everything. She might be my favorite author now that I think about it, because everything I've read by her I really loved. But she's really awesome. So anything by her is great. This is my particular favorite. Then, if you like chicklet at all, I really love Watermelon by Marian Keyes. It's sweet and it's sad and it's funny, and I really like Marian Keyes' work. She's not my favorite, but I really like her. So, and then the next book that I chose was The Answer Is Yes by Sarah Lewis. This is one of those sort of feel-good, fuzzy, warm books. And then after I read it, I was just like, I just felt good. So this is a really good book as well. Then the next question is by Snowfire7. Have you ever taken a day off from work and your daily chores around your home to read a book? And if so, what book? I've never taken a day off from work to read a book. But I have, like, on a weekend, I have done nothing but read a book. When I read the Hunger Games trilogy, that was basically what I did all day for like 2 days in a row. Then by Reading Rhino Press, what is the first book that really got you into reading? There are a lot of them, but I would say one of the first books that really did it for me early on when I was a young adult is Beauty by Robin McKinley. I love her fairy tale retellings, and I still think this is probably her best. And as a I don't know, 12, 13-year old. I had sort of taken a break from reading regularly, and this really got me back into it. I love this book. I still love this book. Her next question is, what is your favorite type of melon? I have to give you points for one of the most original questions. I'm going to go with watermelon. I love watermelon. Bumblesbee asked, I remember you saying you were an actor. Are you going to be doing any shows in the 2011-2012 season? I did do a show in that ran during the month of February, and then that was The Man Who Came to Dinner, and then I did take a little break, and I didn't really mean to take such a long break, but I'm in a wedding in October, and it's just smack in the middle of like every show run that's going on this fall, and I was pretty bummed about that, but I made a commitment. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do anything for the rest of the year. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to audition for any of the Christmas shows, but you can better believe that I'm going to be auditioning for stuff next year. Absolutely. I'm like going through theater withdrawal. And then his next question is, are you planning on reading any classics soon? If so, which? Yeah, I am actually planning to read finding my book. I really want to reread Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I haven't read it in a long time, and I'm in the mood. Danny Marks YA asks, what's the most overused story trope that you still can't get enough of? It has to be written well, so I don't love every use of this plot line, but I still am a sucker for the sort of star-crossed lovers, mysterious man meets girl, they're meant to be together kind of thing. I think it's safe to say that my inner 16-year-old is alive and thriving. Jenna Franchi, I hope that's right, asks, what's the most romantic book you've ever read? I had to think about it because there are a lot, but I think I'm going to go with Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. It's just really sweet, and it's set in Paris, which is one of the most romantic cities ever, and the story is just handled really beautifully, and it just, it's one of these really wonderful feel-good books. So, yeah, I think this might be it. DM Friend 26 asks, what inspired you to make YouTube videos? I really found the book community on YouTube really randomly. I'd never really been on YouTube much before except to watch, like, I don't know, old friend clips and stuff like that. So I was looking up books that I wanted to read, and I looked at, above on the Google search, and I saw a whole bunch of YouTube videos of people talking about books that they love to read, and I was like, oh my gosh, this really exists. And so yeah, I was like, well, that would be fun. I want to be a part of that. So it was really random, but I'm so glad that it happened. His next question is, could you make a favorite books video? And yes, I can, and I will. I'll try to put one up within the next couple of weeks. The next question is by Bratet. I love historical, 17th and 19th centuries, or through 19th century, and Gothic contemporary. Do you have any recommendations? Yeah, let's see. For historical fiction, I love Slammerkin by Emma Donoghue. Really good book, set in the 18th century. And then for Gothic Contemporary, I really liked the 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. Really good. And then the next question is, would you rather have ram's horns or a horse's tail? Cannot be surgically removed, must live with forever. Um, I think I'd rather have a horse's tail, because at least if I was wearing pants or a skirt or shorts or something, I could sort of stuff it in there so you can see. Interesting question. Book YA Review asks, what is your all-time favorite musical? Les Miserables is my favorite from way back. I watched it the first time when I was 14 and I was instantly hooked. Then the next question from Book YA Review is, what is your favorite book of 2011? It's hard. Can I cheat and just say The Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins, please? And then the next question is, what is your least favorite book of 2011? And I would say so far it was Siren by Trisha Rayburn. I didn't get into it really. And then what is your favorite cover of 2011? I'm just going to do of the books that I've read this year. It's this one. And then what is your least favorite book cover of 2011? And again, I'm just counting the ones that I've read this year, and it's this one. And then the last questions are by the Cubicle Blindness. First question is, if you could jump into a book and live in that world, which one would it be? If your first answer was Harry Potter, what is your second choice? Well, I haven't read the Harry Potter series yet, so that's not my choice. I'm going to go with, well, basically any book that Sarah Addison Allen wrote. The Sugar Queen, Garden Spells, or The Girl Who Chased the Moon. I just love the idea that magic exists even in our modern world. We need a little magic. So, yeah, I would love to live in a world where that kind of magic really exists. Her next question is, if you wrote a book, what genre would it be? I would love to write a fantasy novel, but I just don't think I'm creative enough for that. So I'm going to go with maybe a contemporary romance. I'm pretty good at getting inside people's heads, so that would be kind of fun to try. And then the last question by the Cubicle Blindness, which is also the very last question, is, what is your go-to stress reliever? Reading, music, or TV? I'm going to go with all three. I have to be in a certain mood for all of them. So, yeah, all of them are great stress relievers at different times. There are times when I can't sit still and focus long enough to read a book. And then there are times when that's all I want to do. And the same thing is true with listening to music or television, is I just have to be in the right mood. But I love them all. So that was my Q&A. I'm sorry it's so long. I was going to cut it into two parts, but then I decided I'm just going to make it one big thing. Hopefully you guys stuck with it. I just want to thank everyone for your great questions, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Bye!